Hey all, Peyton Marine here with another video. We'll call this one another kind of a hybrid, kind of in the crosshairs and attempts at coherent thought because I'm going to kind of go over this price increase that Games Workshop just had. Everyone's really familiar with it. A lot of things got price increases. Games Workshop does this all the time. Just, inflation, exchange rates, all that kind of stuff. But recently they've been going more with a kind of a fixed price model thing, it seems, especially like Forge World when they switched over to be in the currencies of the different countries that they sell in or different areas, regions. So they went with a kind of a wow, kind of a fixed pricing model to, in a way, I guess, kind of assure that they're always getting a certain amount without having to worry about exchange rates. Now, of course, a lot of these were factored. I think pretty much all of them were most likely factored in their favor. So on the higher end of an exchange rate versus the low. But that is, I guess, their insurance policy. So if their economy and everything starts kind of tanking, they're still getting their money's worth. So all that kind of being said, that's not really the main point of this video. The main point of this is to kind of look at the increases, and there's this apparent uh, confusion as to why certain things were raised while other things weren't. As you can see on the up on the screen right now, I have the Rhino, which is an example of one where you have three variants of the Rhino that obviously it's the same box. It's just they have them set up so that if you're going under the Sisters of Battle or the Custodies or whatever, like you can find the Rhino listed there. So that's why they have Rhino, Ceratus Rhino, and No Maiden Rhino. So, but obviously we all know those are this. It's the same box for those three. And then we have the Chaos Rhino. Now the only difference with that one is they throw a sprue in of extra spikes and stuff like that. I don't know if that's called like a Havoc launcher thing. So this is one of the big questions. Like, why are they charging like a premium, like an extra $5 for one sprue? Um, and so this kind of started the conversation. I think like this plus there's a few more as you can see. I have a few other tabs open up at the top that I'm gonna go at. So um, obviously, I think it could be that they're charging you that $5 for a sprue. A lot of people are like, well, I mean, that's a lot of money for one sprue. And then if you look, then you have the Razorback. Here is 45 US, which again, this one is the exact same as the Rhino, just with the Razorback sprue. So essentially, for adding one sprue to this one, you're adding $5, and adding one sprue to the Razorback, you're adding $10. All right. Now keep all this in mind because we're going to get to what I think are probably two reasons why we're seeing these just differences in pricing in this way. Whether it's right or wrong, I don't know. It's just, of course, this is just my theory. That's why it's like the kind of we're bringing the in the crosshairs this price change thing, and then I'm going to try to have a coherent thought here. So that's why it's kind of a hybrid video here. So the next big one that we see, big example, of course, are the Land Raiders. So a lot of people want to know, why. So you have a Land Raider at $80, but then you have like the Land Raider Redeemer and the Crusader are sitting here at 74.25. Then again throw in the spiky sprue, and your Chaos Land Raider gets a little bit more expensive. Um, and then again you have the Venerable Land Raider, which is the same as this. They're the same Land Raider, just painted differently, so they show up in their respective spots. So why is this? What is going on with these prices? Well, I think it kind of comes down to a few things. I think what a lot of people aren't seeing is kind of the statistics behind what they sell. Um, I kind of think, I don't know if it was an algorithm or what exactly they used or how they updated it, but I think across the board, they kind of went through to see like really two things. What is their best sellers and increase those. They obviously want to make more money off of the things that are selling the most. So why not raise the prices on those because of the popular model, people will pay that price, and or it could also potentially get them to think about buying the cheaper model that hasn't been selling. So they're like, oh well, I I really wanted to get this Land Raider, but although it's not a huge price difference, $6 to $6, and unless you want a certain loadout, you might be like, okay, well, let me just get the Land Raider Redeemer, and I'll save the $6, and then maybe they have a friend or somebody that maybe has bits that they can swap, and they can, then get this. Of course, magnets is everybody's friend, so maybe they can try to magnetize it, especially if they can get those extra bits. I'm not sure. I'm pretty positive you're not going to be able to get uh, the Land Raider sprue, like especially like last can stuff, for less than $6 difference. So, but I think like I said, I kind of think that's the start of what is going on here. I think they look to see kind of like what sells the most. Let's increase those prices a little bit, and then we'll either keep the other prices the same or raise them a slight amount so they can offset whatever the results of this Brexit and everything else, and then exchange rates and all that kind of stuff. The other thing I see, and now I don't know if this is actually part of it. I mean, in the end, it definitely is always going to come down like profit and money and what's the best thing for their end result of extending that their shareholders' pockets and all that. But I think the other thing is it could be, and I'm really skeptical on this theory of mine, but in a way I kind of hope it is, because then it makes it not seem as much that Games Workshop is not like this super greedy company just trying to take all of our money all the time, and that is like game balancing. And why I say that is because if you also notice, the more expensive models are the more powerful variants of whatever. Don't get me wrong, I love the Flamestorm uh, turret things here on the side, especially when I had my salamanders and everything. But I mean, it's a short range and all that. But then you look over here, and we got the Land Raider and the Venerable Land Raider. We're pumping out last cannon shots where knights are a big thing, and being able to bring more and more last cannons onto the table to take care of them is, in my mind, like a very important thing. Plus, last cannons are, uh, I don't know, they're like the new Melta, because I know Melta was definitely like the kind of the really, I don't know, in my mind it was the pretty much like the MVP of anti armor before, especially getting in the half range, Melta range or whatever they called it, um, to get that extra damage output and or AP and everything. But so um, what we saw in the shift though is we definitely saw like Meltas are still very good, but they have a shorter range. They're definitely not as long range or as I guess powerful, you can say. I think they have a higher AP, but the damage output of a las cannon is just, I don't know, it's just great. And um, anyway, so I mean, of course, if you see here, we kind of have the short range, the flamestorm, then we have hurricane bolters, and kind of a deck and machine, but not a lot of punch for anti armor. And then here we have a good punch. Now here they have the las cannons. Now uh, the difference here is like, so why? Okay, excuse me. Why is it that the Chaos Land Raider didn't get the $80 bump, or even 85 if it's truly about the spike sprue like for the Rhino? Um, to that, I just, again, I'm gonna have to say I don't think it sells as many. I don't think as many Chaos players are buying Land Raiders. If they do, they probably have one, because there's just so much other things to their codex and things that they can bring that can just fit the role, not necessarily of a transport, but just more of the damage output and stuff that the Land Raider doesn't really bring to the table for them. Uh, so I don't really feel like, I mean, I think that's pretty much part of the reason, really, right there. So essentially, we're getting like what is it, $1.75 extra off of the regular, or the Land Raider Crusader, the Redeemer, to get spiky bits and las cannons on it. So um, there is that. Now, I'm not super familiar with this kit. I'm going to click on it here in a second, because I do have another thing I wanted to check out just to see if my theory is correct. Because we should normally be able to see sprues, right? They're not going to show us the sprues. Huh. So, I am not, they don't show us the sprues. So I'm going to ask for everyone's help here. I would love to know this, and this could be kind of, this is going to lead into my next thing here in a second. But does this come with the same everything as the Land Raider, and then they just throw in the Chaos spiky bits and the things where you can change the last cannon ends, or is this completely different last cannons? Um, I say that because uh, what people might not know or it could potentially do here, if this in fact is the exact same kit as this, but with an extra sprue to chaos it up, buy the Chaos Land Raider. Sell the extra bits on eBay or trade them with a friend or throw them in the garbage. You have $4 cheaper Land Raider at that point. Uh, so please, somebody, if you do know, I'm actually very curious now because moving into my next point here, like again, so I mean, if you're not buying Razorbacks, first of all, like just you should be always be buying Razorbacks because they come with everything to make it a Rhino or a Razorback. Yes, you're spending a bit extra to get those parts, but then you always have those options. Like I remember when I first came out, when I learned that like, oh, you know what, I can buy Whirlwinds and Land Raiders and or not land or Rhinos, sorry, Razorbacks, Whirlwinds and Razorbacks, and just make them Rhinos if I need to be. Like that was like I don't know, like an enlightenment moment for me. So like I said, so with that, with these, if that's the case, then as heretical as it may sound, start picking up Chaos Land Raiders. So moving on, and this is something that someone pointed out on a page, and I'm sure there's other examples of this. I just haven't combed through the website to try to find other examples. But here we have a pretty prime example where uh, a new person, especially coming in, and especially if they go into a game store, is not necessarily going to know this because we have a Termagant Brood, which comes with here's 12, and then we have Termagants, which is 5. Now this here little symbol is a web exclusive thing only, so you can only order it online through Games Workshop. And then the other one is the ones you're going to find at your local game stores or Games Workshop Warhammer stores. And as you can see, though, this is 5, this is 12. If you get 3 5 Termagant kits, that will make 15, which will be $30. So you're getting 3 more Termagants for $5 less. So I just wanted to point that out because there's other examples of this. Like I get so like there's like Orc Boys is kind of the same, but not quite because the easy to build Orc Boys kit actually doesn't come, I think, with the ability to make a knob in there. So you could kit bash one up though, and then you're saving money again. So there's other examples of this here happening to where bundles, because I can't remember which one it was. I did see when I was trying to find it, there was a bundle of some kind of vehicles that is on the Games Workshop website that if you just bought the vehicles all 3 separate, it cost less than the bundle was, what the adjusted price now of the bundle was. So I mean that is another example of you just you gotta be aware of what you're buying. So if there's something like I want to buy, or they announce there's this cool bundle thing or whatever, just definitely look and make sure that buying them individually isn't necessarily cheaper. Obviously, now the other caveat to all this is there's other places other than Games Workshop webpage and then Games Workshop Warhammer stores that definitely sell at various discounts and stuff like that. I do myself. I definitely try to frequent and go to the Games Workshop Warhammer stores and order from online from time to time. Even though the Warhammer stores for me currently are there's 2 of them that are both about equal distance away, about 2.5, almost 3 hours away. I will be moving soon, so I'll be closer. I'll actually be like 20, 30 minutes down the road, which will be amazing. But I still do try to frequent them every now and again, especially because their big pull is they'll have exclusives and special edition models and stuff like that to get people to come in the door. But I do try to like throw them some money, and as to the webpage somewhat, but mostly to our local Warhammer stores, at least as local as mine can be, because it does keep that employee pretty much in business and keeps their numbers high so that they can justify two Games Workshop being there and being an employee. So you're helping them and their family and all that, but also the convenience of it, because at the end of the day, like, other local gaming stores are carrying other products too, so they're not going to carry every single Games Workshop model. Granted, now some of them will order it, but if you're like, you have a tournament or something coming up and you absolutely can't wait, as long as it's not a web exclusive, you could pretty much guarantee walking into a Games Workshop store and it being on the shelf. So that's kind of the benefit there of having those in the area. So I do, uh, as much as it sucks paying full price a lot of times in this hobby because it is expensive, it is, like I said, it is nice to try to at least support our Warhammer Games Workshop stores when I can. Again, that being said, though, I did get the Executioners. I went to the Warhammer Day, and I was full plan on pre-order. I was going to pre-order one Executioner for the Warhammer store. I ended up just buying the big project hobby box and a few other things, and I put that on that video there. So I still spent a decent amount of money there, but I had intended on at least pre-ordering one Executioner, but uh, I forgot that on the East Coast here, the Games Workshop store is open at 12 at noon, but the pre-orders don't go live online until 1 or 1300, 1 p.m., however you tell time. And I had to go, like, I had to drive another like 2.5 hours back home to then drive another 4 hours north. So I did not have the time to wait until 1 o'clock. So I had to leave, and while I was on my way home or whatever, not texting or driving. Of course, I did this in the parking lot before I left, which kind of felt weird being right outside of Warhammer store and doing this. But I mean, I emailed my local gaming store just down the road from me, asked them, hey, can you pre-order me two of the Executioners? Thank you, and boom, good to go. And then following Saturday, I just had to go down the road because you can get free shipping at the Games Workshop stores, which is great. But again, like, I can get free shipping to my local gaming store because they just ship it right there when they pre-order. Um, because that's the other thing too, is like I could pre-order online, but and then it goes right to my door, and I don't have to worry about like driving, because even that local gaming store still for me is not quite local. It's almost 45 minutes, so it's like 40 minutes away. Uh, so like I could have like had it shipped to my house, but the problem with that is with the pre-orders, at least for me, I don't know how it's been for others. Like, my order doesn't get shipped until the release day. So I think that's because maybe in the past, if they tried to like ship it earlier, sometimes the product would show up too soon to certain people's homes. So to kind of prevent that, at least it's been in my case, I'll see like all my order details and everything don't get updated as actually shipped out until Saturday, the day of release. So everybody's unboxing and building their stuff. My stuff is just getting shipped, which usually means I won't see it until Tuesday at the soonest, but usually I don't get my stuff until Wednesday. Um, so that's not super convenient if I'm in a little bit of a rush. So yeah, so having it go to my local gaming store is easy because, again, like I said, free shipping. So that kind of beats out Games Workshop. The other thing too is the discounts I get. I get a couple discounts at that game store just because, one, they already discount other Games Workshop products. Plus, they have other incentives for people that are students, first responders, military, stuff like that. Get like an additional 5, I think, or something like that, percent off. So it's a pretty good deal when it comes down to it, because I got two Executioners and I paid $85 per Executioner versus $100. I mean, that's $15 right there. That's pretty big, especially when full price the repulsor is $80. So for $5 more, I got the Executioner, and I think if a lot of people didn't like the fact that it was $100 kit, and I agree. I get why it is. Again, because I'm theorizing that I think they're using, and maybe not, but I want it to be this way so I can justify in my head some of the prices. But I want to say that they are using their price points as a way to balance the game. Of course, we have the codex balance and we have the codex swings when new codex come out. Also, this army is really good and stuff like that. So you can say it's not balanced always about the bottom line, bottom dollar. And while it could be, I mean, it's gonna cause a lot of people like it's hard like for some people to go out and buy one executioner at $100, much less like four of them. That's $400 right off the bat. Like, so you're not gonna like potentially see that as soon as these ones come out, and then people are just flooding the table with like executioners or whatever the new hot thing is. So I don't, like I said, there's no evidence of this. I don't know, but I would like to think that maybe they're using this as an opportunity to bring some kind of a game balance potential to it. Maybe not, probably way off base on that one, but I just think, in my mind, I could see that as potentially some of the reason why things get priced the way they do because yeah, like I said, like it's just like who's gonna like, and I've seen people post. There are people out there that are spending $400 to get four executioners to flood the table with them, and maybe they're getting discounts and stuff too. But even still, at an $85 discount or 85, wow, that'd be awesome. At $15 off, so 85 a pop, they are still not cheap. At least not for my pockets. So yeah, we will. I guess kind of end it there. Tell me what you think. Like, is this? Am I way off base here? I think not. I think I'm pretty close. At least I'm pretty positive with the pricing with their popular sellers and stuff like that. I'm pretty confident that that's definitely probably like the main component to some of the price increases with certain models and things. Um, and then again, like uh, I think. Um, at least online. I'm gonna try to find that other example here. So you might the video is probably gonna cut and splice, and then we'll have another thing here where I find that other one because that vehicle one. I'm pretty sure the reason why some of those bundles got is because, like I said, I think there was like kind of an algorithm thing that went out, and obviously the people buying kits that come with like I don't know what it was. Like, we'll just say example of three Imperial Knights. Like I don't. That pretty sure that wasn't the one, but for this example, let's say that there's a kit, right? So three Imperial Knights. We'll say they're $100 each, so it's a $300 bundle, and then you have your Imperial Knights at $100 a piece. Then the price thing comes out because everybody's buying the bundle of three Imperial Knights versus just the singles because, well, convenience, one click, it's in my shopping cart, check out. Uh, oh, in case you're wondering what I have in my shopping cart here, the $90, it's the new Black Fortress stuff, if it's gonna load. Yeah, the Black Fortress pre-order stuff. Now it says pre-order still because I actually put this when it first came out. It's out as a well, it'll be out this weekend actually, so I guess it's still technically a pre-order. Um, but yeah, I'm still again like because $90, like I've got a few other hobby bills I need to pay first, you know. So it's just kind of sitting there right now. But anyway, back to what I was saying. So like I think because everyone, you know, obviously wants the one-click buy thing, put those in there, and then whatever algorithm. I don't think it was an individual person going in there and increasing the prices. I think just they put together some kind of a price increase algorithm based off of the you know highs and lows histories of what's popular and selling on their metrics or that they have. So put this thing in. Imperial Knights, you know, maybe increase to 105 or something. I don't know, but then your bundle then if the single Imperial Knights are 105, then for three more you should be at 115, but all of a sudden it's at 130. And it's like, whoa, what is happening? So I'm going to try to find that example here and put it back up. But anyway, just if you're going to buy a bundle, just verify that it's not cheaper to get them single first. I know it's easy to make that one click buy, but it might be more beneficial to try and see what it is before. So, all right, well, that's gonna be it for this video. I guess I'll end it again here. Thank you for watching. Please check out the Facebook page, see what I got going on there. I always got something kind of going on there. I update it pretty frequently. In between, like, you know, if you follow the page and the channel, you know, my job does take me away from the hobby a bit. So there will be kind of moments of kind of radio silence. Unfortunately, definitely trying to do my best to get content up and to be as, I guess, more regular and frequent as I can to better grow my channel and everything else. But in the meantime, please check out the rest of the channel and subscribe, like, hit notifications, all that, because I would greatly appreciate it. And I love to share this hobby with everybody, and I love to hear everybody's feedback and everything. And keep trudging on through this awesome and frustrating hobby at times. So, all right, well, that's it for me, and until next time.